it's the evil and the ugliness of people's hearts these days is everywhere.
This is Franky Rose's Think Tank. Here's your host, Franky Rose.
Well, welcome back to the Think Tank, guys. We have a sentencing decision. We've got the DP or life. These are basically the options when it comes to Chad Daybell. So they are saying in about 5 minutes that we should be hearing their decision. I don't know if anyone out there ever deserved the DP. I do believe that it would be this guy. I don't know how I guess there's a lot of people that are against it. I guess there is that, right? It's not something that everybody considers an option. So what will this jury decide? Because in my personal opinion, if anyone deserves it, it's this guy. Hello, Rusi. Morning, Mexi. Thank you so much for setting that up for me. I wasn't sure. Dingo was actually the one that said that they were still deliberating today. So I am glad that I had my eyes peeled. And thank you very much to Mexi, because she heard that the decision was made. So we were able to get on before they actually start. So right now, I am going to put me down there. And this is where we're at. So any thoughts, you guys? What do you think is going to be the most likely outcome here? It's, like I said, if anyone deserves it, it would be this guy. Let me see here. Change this up. We know that Lori has already been convicted, but with her, for whatever reason, the DP was taken off of the table with her. I'm not quite sure why, I'm not quite sure why that would have been an option, but I guess it was. They didn't really need her to help with Chad. And the funny thing is, something I did notice is when Lori was going through her trial, she had zero to say about Chad. She didn't say anything. And I think at one point her lawyer actually did bring up the name, and she was not a happy camper. Well, it looks like Chad's taking a different route, because we did hear yesterday his lawyer saying all of these things. Basically, nothing started to happen until Lori came into his life. And, personally, I think they were both probably, the cheese was slipping off the cracker with both of them. Because some of the stuff that he was putting out there about, what was he calling them? Zombies and dark energy and all of this stuff. I mean, what? Take your glasses off, give them a clean, because you're not making any sense. But these two nut jobs seem to have connected at one point. And in order to be together, he unalived his wife. He has been convicted of that. He has unalived his wife. Her husband at the time, he was unalived by Lori's brother, who then very soon after ended up passing away his own self. Someone said he was on the toilet when they found him. So, yeah, they went through a lot of trouble. They were they were unaliving people left, right, and center. What they did to Tylee and JJ, absolutely disgusting. Those kids were found in a pet cemetery. I know. Good to see you, Mom. Yeah. Mexi got the heads up, and I've still got court in recess, but they're saying 11 o'clock, so any time. How you doing, Pam? Good morning, good morning. It's probably not morning for a lot of you. My dogs are even, they can feel mom's getting stressed out. Bring it on, bring it on. Yeah, I didn't realize that they would be going on Saturday, but they are sequestered, are they not? I didn't watch him. I've been busy with Karen Reed and some of the other cases. I pretty much figured the outcome was going to be what it was with this. I didn't think there was going to be any surprises because we had already watched Lori. Oh, well, I'm glad. Thank you for coming over, Mom. Hey, I think it's your sister I was going to hook up with. Franky, or not Franky, good Lord. Mexi was showing me some of her handiwork. She's very talented. So yeah, any minute now from what we're hearing. You don't need to hear that. Let's see what I can find. You're okay. Did you guys watch this morning? I put out that video on the TikToker who, oh, good Lord, deleted his wife and her new friend. Just unreal. I think, I think we are waiting just for the court to come in. You're okay, Jazz. You're okay. Yeah. Okay. We have questions. Come on. Come on. Absolutely, Mom. That's what I was thinking. Isn't that something, Ruthie? Oh, Lordy. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, unreal. It's the end of that video. It just blows me away. Yes, we're just waiting. We're just waiting for them to come into the courtroom. So what is it, you guys? Hello, hello, hello. What do you guys think? DP or life? What do you think they're going to settle on? It's a hard one. Oh, do you? That is so cool. I'll take one of those. I'll buy one of those, Mom. You think DP? Yeah. Yeah. I'm not quite sure how it was that Lori weaseled out of the DP for her. It wasn't on the table because I think it should have been. Just my personal opinion, of course. But not everybody thinks that that should be an option. So I'm curious. I'm curious to see what they've come up with. So I wonder if they're running on Bev's clock. Do we give the 10 minutes grace just like we have to for Bev? We watched yesterday the sentencing, and let's see, who were we talking about yesterday? Michelle Troconis. We watched that yesterday. We watched her get sentenced and the victim impact statements. The judge there, oh my God, he is the best. He was the same judge that was at the Murdoch trial. And I mean, Bev needs to take lessons because he knows how to run a court. You see somebody like, and not an abnormal judge like we're seeing with Fran Siegel and Auntie Bev. Like, what the hell? So to see a decent judge, it's just, you know what? Start teaching these guys because they really suck. I want to do a mod appreciation. Oh, what a good idea. What a great idea. I need to catch up with you one of these times soon, Mom. It is, yeah. Mom broke it down there, Pam. It's one of those words that YouTube just doesn't allow me to say, so it's abbreviated. This is it. They only need to satisfy one of the aggravating circumstances. I know. Shauna's going to get you. Ah, you see, there you go, Tony. You're a mod over there anyways. 10 to 15 minutes more. Is that what they're saying? Stop. Good to see you, friend. Oh, right. I just think that's so awesome. Oh, but mind you, the ones I seen you already got. $10 to $15. That's okay. That's okay. We want this to get done. Like, oh my God, this man disappear into the depths of the system. Can I see a picture? Can I see a picture, Mexi? It was nice chit-chatting. It was. I ended up bouncing off. I wanted to do up that video about the TikToker. Nice, Mexi. You sent me that link, didn't you? Or no, I think you actually... I have to go back on our chat and see what we came up with, because I think it was contact her directly. I love it. I love it. I love it. I would love to get some new coffee cups. Hi, Shauna. 9 months. You are so awesome. I hope you're feeling good, girlfriend. A little bit at a time. Made with love. Ah, thank you. I'm going to pin that up because you know me. Pin it. Pin it. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. So they're saying 10:15. So it's coming, guys. It's coming. Oh, right. Oh, my word. Pray the families can move forward today, hoping and praying. I couldn't agree more. Listening to Lori's oldest, Colby. Oh, that was, I mean, it ripped my heart apart. That poor kid. I mean, they took everything from him. Everything. His entire family was wiped out by Chad and Lori. His siblings, the dad that he was raised with. Lori and Chad took everything. Absolutely. It's just, oh my word. And you know, how they found the kids. I mean, unreal. Unreal. They're not even human. Humans can't do that to other humans. Very, very disgusting. And there was supposed to be love there? I don't think so. How did Lori switch from being, you know, an oddball, which she's always been, I'm sure, an oddball, to this? Or has she always been a psychopath? Because I think she's a psychopath. Oh my God, yeah. The JJ's grandparents. Oh my God. I mean, they loved those kids. Yeah, cult wannabe. It was like, oh, I know they had the Lori and I think her name was Melanie, a friend of hers. They had a podcast on religion where Lori and Numbnuts here, Chad, figured that they were one of, I think they said 1,400. They were the leaders of these 1,400 that were going to make it when the world implodes. Larry looks just like he does, doesn't he? Yeah. Yep. And I mean, the poor man. Uh-oh. The nuts are us. Unreal. Don't bark at the dogs right now. You know, Jazzy Mom. Jasmine wants to tell everybody off right now. It's not good timing. I wonder. Oh, teleport. Probably, knowing those whack jobs. I mean, I don't know. The fact that Chad threw Lori under the bus, it kind of surprised me. On Monday, so that. Oh, Crime Con's going on right now. Mom went last year. We wanted to go this year. It just didn't work out, sadly. Maybe the next one. Okay, guys. I'm on pins and needles here. Do you think Chad's going to barf? I was seeing, I think Vinny Politan. I think he's there too, streaming. I can't watch streams. I'm supposed to be there. Kind of salty about it. I didn't realize. Yeah. Not cheap. And is that for one day, Shauna? Look, Jazzy, stop. No. Behave. Did you behave? Yeah. Was that for a 300 for a day? I know that it was a very large amount. Oh great. There we go. Yeah, 300. Isn't that unreal? Absolutely unreal. So $100 a day? Okay. They ran out of spots on Podcast Row, so I put my 2025 application, so I'm first in line. Yeah. I didn't realize. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I guess they would have only a certain amount of space, but that's too bad. That's too bad. Is it close? No? I was going to say, is it close enough you can get to go see it? But it must be the place to be. Oh, the Comic Con. Okay. That's awesome. Jasmine, enough. She knows I'm busy, so she's going to start yipping in the background here. It was $175 a day in Orlando. I could only have got 3 days for $75, but we wouldn't have a table, so I didn't buy them. Okay. Okay. Wow. They have been quiet all morning. All morning. Yeah, next year, Mom. All about him, my fifis. Yeah, I think she has started going annually. I think she's been trying to make them, which is cool because she definitely has a story to tell. Politano? Yeah. Next year. Yes, Carrie is a rock star. I agree. Oh, oil train is sitting behind the house tooting away. I lived in one place. I had bought a house and the tracks were behind it. Well, I always told people I had to pay extra for the vibrating house because, oh my word, my walls and. Is it the 6th year next year? Wow, okay. I didn't know how long they've been doing it. I think the cruise in October. The cruise. I don't think I'm familiar with the cruise. Like, is it a literal cruise ship cruise? So Chad Daybell is in the courtroom wearing his baby blue shirt and a blue tie. The attorneys are at their tables. So we should get ready to go right away here. Everyone's there, waiting on the judge and jury. A crime con cruise? Oh, you're kidding me. Really, that would be awesome. No jumper shackles. He's guilty. Yep. Blue shirt and blue tie, sitting there waiting for his fate. He is convicted. Yeah. Yeah. I know. You bet. Oh, all good. No, WTF is absolutely expensive or acceptable. I mean, some of these, I have dropped an F-bomb my own self on here a time or two. Yeah, I can't swim. Not that it would matter if you're on a ship that went down, but I wouldn't let it stop. I wouldn't let fear stop me from doing something like that. I would suck it up. My only problem is last time I was on a cruise, I threw up for like 7 days. So I think all I would have to do is like bring what are they? Like a travel, for traveling, car sickness. Take some of that with me. The ship was out of them, believe it or not. When I got so sick, it's like, you're out of them. Yeah, that's it. Something's going to get a person one way or the other, right? It is. Fear is a dream killer. Well said. Yeah, I mean, it was a great experience. I've only done it the one time, but it was a great experience. And I would absolutely, if I had everything I needed. Yeah, they were even out of the tabs. I don't think they had bracelets, but they were out of the little tabs you put behind your ear. And they were out of Gravol, which is like Canadians' car sickness meds. Let's see. Oh, Colby Ryan, Tammy's family, Larry and Kay Woodcock are now in the courtroom. Chad Daybell's kids are not there. It was at 11:15. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, I can get them. I can get them here. I didn't know. Um, I didn't know what they were. They really were when I was on the cruise. I know that the doctor had absolutely no medicine to help me, and that I felt healthier when I was snorkeling than I did when I was above water. Oh yeah, it was gross. It was really, really gross. But yeah, we call it Graball is our travel sickness meds here, and I'm pretty familiar with them. I tend to use them a fair amount with my fibro. They haven't opened up the room yet, Tony. They haven't opened up the courthouse yet. You sound like me. I'm way too old to party. Oh, I would love that. I went to one once. It was so much fun. So much fun. Oh. 1021. Chad is emotionless and stoic, very similar to all the previous days of trial. Blech, blech. Yeah, they're running behind. Yeah, we've got a mystery train. Well, not here, but one of the places I lived, and I never went on it, but it would be so much fun. You should do it. Make your sister bug her. Bug your sister. I appreciate it. Stop. Thank you ever so much. Mexi's giving me play-by-plays as well, so all the help a person can get, much appreciated. Let's see here. Okay. There we go, guys. We're in. I think that's Colby sitting closest in the aisle, in the middle of the aisle with the jeans on. It might be Colby. Oh, your sister's in California. Wow. Let's do this. Oh, stone face. Oh, okay. I'm listening to JLR. That's okay. Stone faced he is. He hasn't moved pretty much the whole trial. Yeah. I'm not.
All right, please.
Oh. We got movement, guys. I'm pretty sure that's Colby standing there, swaying back and forth.
Jury's all present. Counter for Your Honor.
Thank you. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court understands you've reached a verdict on the special verdict form. Is that correct? All right, Mr. Bailiff, if you would please return the special verdict form to the court, I'll review that. Ladies and gentlemen, the verdict form is somewhat long and complicated. The court is going to take a moment to review the form.
Yeah, Colby's gone through so much. It's just, oh my God, what they didn't take away from that kid. Yeah, prayers today starts healing. Those trees are amazing. Yep. I'm gonna be just all hunched over. And when he talks, he's like, Chad, when he's even responding to the judge, is like, ugh, so monotone. This is what you get, buddy. You're not supposed to be doing what you did.
All right, the court's reviewed the special verdict form. I do find it's been properly filled out by the jury foreperson as well as correctly signed and dated. At this time, I am going to request, Madam Clerk, Ms. Holstein, if you would please read the special verdict form. If you'd like to remain seated or standing, it's a long form and will take some time to read, but however is most comfortable for you, Madam Clerk, you may go ahead and read the special verdict form into the record.
In the District Court of the 7th Judicial District of the State of Idaho, in and for the County of Fremont, State of Idaho Plaintiff versus Chad Guy Daybell Defendant, case number CR 22211623, Special Verdict. Part 1. We, the jury, render the following verdict on the alleged statutory aggravating circumstances. 1. Has the jury unanimously found that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following aggravating circumstance? The murder of Tylee Ryan was committed for remuneration, or the defendant employed another to commit the murder for remuneration or the promise of remuneration? Yes. 2. Has the jury unanimously found that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following aggravating circumstance? The murder of Joshua Jackson, hereinafter JJ Vallow, was committed for remuneration, or the defendant employed another to commit the murder for remuneration or the promise of remuneration? Yes.
Boom.
3. Has the jury unanimously found that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following aggravating circumstance? The murder of Tamra, hereinafter Tammy Daybell, was committed for remuneration, or the defendant employed another to commit the murder for remuneration, or the promise of remuneration? Yes.
Boom. Boom.
4, has the jury unanimously found that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following aggravating circumstance? The murder of Tylee Ryan was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity? Yes. 5, has the jury unanimously found that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following aggravating circumstance? The murder of JJ Vallow was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity? Yes. 6, has the jury unanimously found that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following aggravating circumstance? The murder of Tammy Daybell was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity? Yes.
Boom.
7, has the jury unanimously found that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following aggravating circumstance? By the murders or circumstances surrounding their commission, the defendant exhibited utter disregard for human life? Yes.
Boom.
8, has the jury unanimously found that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following aggravating circumstance? The defendant, by his conduct, whether such conduct was before, during, or after the commission of the murders at hand, has exhibited a propensity to commit murder which will probably constitute a continuing threat to society? Yes. If you answered no to each of the above questions, you do not need to answer any other questions. Simply have the presiding juror sign this verdict form and notify the bailiff that you are done. If you answered yes to any of the above questions, then please answer the questions in part 2.
It really was, Tony. It was disgusting.
Part 2. We, the jury, render the following verdict on the weighing of all mitigating circumstances against the statutory aggravating circumstances. You are to only answer the following questions for those statutory aggravating circumstances for which you answered yes in part 1. 1, with respect to the statutory aggravating circumstance that the murder of Tylee Ryan was committed for remuneration, or the defendant employed another to commit the murder for remuneration or the promise of remuneration, we unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances are not sufficiently compelling to make imposition of the death penalty unjust. 2, with respect to the statutory aggravating circumstance that the murder of Joshua Jackson, hereinafter JJ Vallow, was committed for remuneration, or the defendant employed another to commit the murder for remuneration or the promise of remuneration, we unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances are not sufficiently compelling to make imposition of the death penalty unjust. 3, with respect to the statutory aggravating circumstance that the murder of Tamara, hereinafter Tammy Daybell, was committed for remuneration, or the defendant employed another to commit the murder for remuneration or the promise of remuneration, we unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances are not sufficiently compelling to make imposition of the death penalty unjust.
Oh,
4,
Shauna,
with
thank
respect to the
you.
statutory aggravating circumstance that the murder of Tylee Ryan was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity, we unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances are not sufficiently compelling to make imposition of the death penalty unjust. 5, with respect to
Did we lose the mic?
It's back. 5, with respect to the statutory aggravating circumstance that the murder of JJ Vallow was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity, we unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances.
We need a new mic. Okay, we're going to get a separate mic. Thank you.
Mm. There you go.
I'll read 5 over.
Yes, start with 5 again. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
5. Okay. With respect to the statutory aggravating circumstance that the murder of JJ Vallow was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity, we unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances are not sufficiently compelling to make imposition of the death penalty unjust. 6. With respect to the statutory aggravating circumstance that the murder of Tammy Daybell was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity, we unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances are not sufficiently compelling to make imposition of the death penalty unjust.
Mhm.
7. With respect to the statutory aggravating circumstance that by the murders or circumstances surrounding their commission, the defendant exhibited utter disregard for human life. We unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances are not sufficiently compelling to make imposition of the death penalty unjust.
Boom.
8. With respect to the statutory aggravating circumstance that the defendant, by his conduct, whether such conduct was before, during, or after the commission of the murders at hand, has exhibited a propensity to commit murder, which will probably constitute a continuing threat to society. We unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances are not sufficiently compelling to make imposition of the death penalty unjust. Once you have completed part 2, please have the presiding juror sign this verdict form and notify the bail if you are done. Dated this first day of June 2024 and signed by the presiding juror.
Good job, Jerry.
All right. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk, for reading through the verdict form. Ladies and gentlemen, the court will note that given the complexity of the verdict form, just I think in fairness to all those in attendance, including in particular victims and the parties, the layman's explanation of this verdict is that the jury has made a finding that it would be appropriate to impose the death penalty as it
Boom.
relates to counts 1 through 6 in the amended indictment. And so pursuant to Idaho Code 192515, the court is directed that the defendant would be sentenced to death on those counts.
Yep.
The
Bye.
court will take up a concluding sentencing proceeding. I also have additional counts of insurance fraud. I've discussed with counsel moving forward in a consolidated hearing. The court's proposing that we do that this morning, waiving the right to a pre-sentence investigation report under Criminal Rule 32A. Before I get there, just let me ask at this time of the jurors, is this your true and correct verdict that's been rendered in this case? Very well. Does the state wish to have the jury pulled on the special verdict form?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Does the defense wish to have the jury pulled on the special verdict form?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Very well. As I mentioned, then that's the result of the verdict form. The court would then
Good
proceed
job.
with additional sentencing on those 2 counts, as well as the counts 1 through 6 determined now by the jury. Mr. Pryor, is the defense willing to move forward with a consolidated hearing on those counts this morning without a pre-sentence investigation report?
As previously indicated, Judge, yes, we are.
Okay. Is the state going to be ready to proceed with a sentencing on those issues as well?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Counsel, I do want to take a brief recess just to briefly prepare for that, given the verdict, and I will come back on the bench. It really won't take long. I would suggest that a 30-minute recess will come back on the record. The court will conclude with that sentencing hearing. So if everybody could be back here by 10 after, we'll have the jury return one last time to the jury room to wait for that final sentencing hearing. We'll conduct that in the presence of the jurors also, and then I'll have concluding instructions for the jurors. So we will be in recess for 30 minutes. We'll come back for that final stage of the proceeding. Thank you.
There you go, guys. There you go. Oh, poor Colby over there, eh? That was, oh, I got chills. I mean, good job, jurors. Good job. So now we'll get the final sentencing done, and he'll head wherever it is he's going. Straight to HE double hockey sticks. Yep, that's it for him. Next. Okay. Christy, good to see you. You and James. Oh, wow. Well, I hope that these families can start healing, you know? It sounds like Tammy's family has lost track of the kids. There's been some damage done in those relationships since all of this happened. I hope that they can reconnect. I hope that Colby and JJ's family, his grandparents, I hope that they can all start to get some sort of peace. They'll never, ever get over this. That's not going to happen. But maybe they'll be able to move forward in some way, you know? It's just the most horrendous thing to have to deal with, what between Lori and Chad, what they managed to do in a short amount of time. You know, now, do you think he is psychotic? Like, I believe Lori is. I think she's definitely a psychopath. But what about this guy? Do you think he's a psychopath? Do you think he was whipped? Do you think that dumb as dirt? All of the above? You know, because he's just, I mean, it doesn't seem to have much for personality. You know, it's like, oh, I don't know. They both need to be gone. Yeah, that's very true. They know they're surrounded by JJ, Tylee, and Tammy forever. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't think that he did it. Oh. Yeah. Can you imagine? He was a grave digger. I don't know if that how common that is for knowledge out there, but yeah. A God complex. Yeah. Yeah. He just has all the above. He just absolutely doesn't seem to have a personality of any kind. He just seems like a lump. That's what I think. He followed her right off the cliff. Right? Right off the cliff. He, I don't know. Will they have the DP for her husband? Do you think they'll have the DP for that? I don't know, because it was off the table when it came to the kids. It wasn't something that was allowed to be even looked at. So what about his passing? Charles Vallow. Yeah, they fed off each other. No good, no good. Just, she doesn't seem bright enough, but that doesn't mean she's not manipulative enough, right? She seemed to have a skill of manipulating people around her. As for Emma and Garth, can't explain the hate, but you've heard truth. Is waiting, no judgment, on Tammy's side. Yeah. Talk about two people being absolutely toxic together. That's what I think. You know, I think they both had extreme issues and they fed off of each other. They fed off of each other's, oh, I don't know what word I'm looking for here, but they fed off each other. Whatever one said, the other believed, and vice versa. She played right into him to get what she wanted. He fed her delusional. She said they're real. You see, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. He fed her delusional mind. Yeah. Perfect way to put it. Us good, them bad. Oh. Stoked his beliefs and he stoked the ego. It's, yeah, right? 100%. Chad was D-Dop-a-Turtle. Only male in this group was Alex. Deep rural Achwold. Desperately. Desperate. There we. Got it. Yep. Oh my God. Well, gotcha. Yeah, quite the, oh Lordy. Auto-predict, autocorrect. Oh my God. Autocorrect. Oh my God. Fork-tongued devil. You know, there was just the way they treated these children, the horror that these kids had to have had when they realized that this was going to happen. I mean, I can't even imagine the terror. Hello, James. We are just waiting. They did decide on the DP. So now basically what they're going to do is they're going to look at a couple more, the judges in the back looking over the other charges that he had. And it sounds like he's going to basically deal with everything today and he can go off to wherever it is and wait for his ending. Right? Kids represent Bond, not with Chad. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. One of those cases where the new person is jealous of the kids, we've seen that lots. Yep. Guilty. And may the Lord have mercy on your soul. Oh my God, those two lived in Never Never Land, right? the first cathedral of Mother Mary Jane. So would I. Didn't take you long to respond to that one there, Mexie. Tony just got 1 million middle-aged mothers interested, but you need to hit pound to confirm. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. Well, this guy's not going to see light for a very, very long time. Sounds like he's headed for solitary, and sounds like he's going to solitary. Maybe an hour out a day, maybe. Quarter pound. We don't use metric. True dat. Free Kool-Aid on Jamestown. Yeah, I knew we had to stop at your place for some reason, Tony. Yeah. We'll just grab a bus and pick everybody up on our way there. Come, my children. Oh my goodness. Oh, well, I was a little surprised that we heard this on a Saturday. I wasn't convinced that we were going to hear something. I thought that, maybe it would be on Monday, but if they were sequestered, it makes sense that they would go through the weekend because they're going to want the hell out of there. That's okay. Do we get to keep the finger stuff? I'm in if I can keep the finger stuff. I would say yes. I would say yes. Yeah, is there a pension plan over there, Tony, and your alt over there? I tell you what, I not in my church. Oh my goodness. My heart goes out to absolutely everybody who had a loss from these two idiots. I mean, it's heartbreaking. Every single one of them have a big road a long road to go down now. But her son Colby, my heart, it's just, oh my God, kid. He's starting his own family now. I don't know. Last time I knew of one. I don't know if they've had more. But the grief that he has to deal with is immense. And I just hope he can be okay through life. Larry and Case, same thing. They have a lot to deal with. He still has to deal with Arizona too. So is that going to be for Charles Vello? Is he getting charged with Charles Vello as well? I'm just wondering. Because I know Lori's going to be dealing with that right away. Oh, they were so hard, James. Yeah, they were so hard. They absolutely are. They fought for those kids right from the get-go. His mom is, and he will testify. Just Lori. Okay. They really are. They were the pushing force through all of this. They wanted their answers. Yeah. And many people see it that way as well. Eye for an eye. When it comes to kids, there's, I think it should almost be an instant thing. when you're out there hurting our kids, our elderly, how do you ever get back from that? You don't. If you can stoop that low, I think you're capable of anything, absolutely anything. And repetitive, everything that would get in their way, they would feel like they could just delete. They went on a little bit of a deleting spree, these two psychos. It's just, are you kidding me? It's my favorite line, are you kidding me? Because I just don't understand what goes through people's brains at times. Oh, Lordy. Well, I know I didn't take a poll, but just based on what we've talked about, I think all of us expected, it to be a DP. Absolutely. But, so many people are against that as a punishment. And you never know when you're going to end up with one on one of these juries that is just, not that the guy doesn't deserve it, or male or female, whatever the hypothetical person is. There comes a point where you are not capable of being fixed. These families have gone through a living hell brought on by Lori and Chad and their delusional brains. You know what? I think so too. I mean, I don't think that we should have to feed and water them for another 50 years. Yep. Yep, absolutely does. I can relate. The path now for me is still hard, but the man who drove and lead my husband got out now. I have to go see him, and nothing changed, drinking and driving. Oh my God. I am so sorry. I am sorry. I have seen that with my very own eyes. And I don't know how you get to a point where you accept that. I think it's just something that's going to be work. But you know what? We will always be there to support you. If there's anything you need to get off your chest, we've got a very good group, and we're happy to have you in the family. Don't think justice is really, we don't get the truth. That's probably one of the most frustrating things about all of these cases to me, is the fact that we very seldom get the actual facts. The defense is trying to bury stuff. The prosecution's trying to bury stuff. Jury can't see this. Jury can't see that. July 4th, it's been 17 years. And the guy's just getting out. I mean, when you're drunk behind the wheel, that vehicle becomes a M weapon. It literally does. So therefore, I'm thinking maybe the same charges. That vehicle, when you're loaded behind the wheel, has now just turned into a multiple ton weapon. Oh my God. And on good behavior yet. Oh my God. You know what? Canada's the same. You give them 8, they're out in 4. You give them 10, they're out in 5. They might serve 2/3, and even the ones that haven't been behaving themselves, they still put them out. I got a relative that keeps getting out after he hasn't deleted anybody. But that's just out of luck. Yeah, good behavior should not even be a thing. If they get this is the sentence, then that's what you do. Good behavior, well, you should be. You don't have many rules to follow while you're in the hoosegow. So they should be good. It should be expected. They shouldn't be rewarded. Yep. Drink responsible also means getting yourself and others home safely. Yeah, you bet. You bet. Way too many experiences with drinking and driving. My dad died due to drinking and driving. He was 39 years old. And he didn't make it. He was driving a big rig and went through the windshield. And then his load landed on him. So he didn't survive that. Only person he killed was himself. Didn't take anybody out with him, thank God. May he rest in peace, my dad, of course. But yeah, I know a kid out in, he's from central Alberta. And I don't know, for some reason I'm thinking it's Australia he went. If their vehicles are on the other side of the road, I think that's where he was for something like 6 months. Well, he came back to Canada, got loaded, and was driving on the wrong side of a 4-lane highway. And he survived, but he killed 9 people in a family. Like 9 people. And it's like, and I don't know what he ever got. I don't know anything actually as to what he ended up serving. I just know he got time, but yeah, I don't drink. So yeah, I'll be the designated driver and 2 heartbeats. The same thing with hubby. If he wanted to go out, I'll pick him up if he ever wanted to. He doesn't drink either, but just say the day came. I would drop him off and go pick him up. Hangovers are ignorant at my age. I'd rather get woke up than get pissed up. Are you kidding me, Mexi? I had no idea. Cheech doesn't drink? I didn't know. I'm sitting here stumbling over my words. I had no idea. Well, good on you, Chooch. Good on you, Chooch. See? The more we learn about Chooch, the more I like him. Mexi's got a great partner. Doesn't come to the streams enough, but he's a good partner. I had no idea, Mexi. Isn't that something? I guess I just assumed he did. But I never once heard you ever say that he had been drinking, so my bad. Yeah. Straight and narrow. I agree. Yeah. No, good on you. Hangovers are horrible. I just, if you get hangovers for 3 days, I mean, it'll make you quit. I'm just not, I just don't have that as part of my life. It can't be. No, too old for that kind of shite. 20s were fun. And then we'll just leave it at that. But yeah. Especially nowadays, right? Like to have my wits about me when I'm in public. You know, you're exactly right. You know, Canada, we don't have a lot of, you know, shopping malls or doctors and just random things that countries with a larger population have to deal with. But still, you know, the last couple of times when hubby and I've gone out and there's crowds, I get thinking like, all it would take is just one of these people, just one. And it's all the true crime, you know, that a person sees. And you look around and you know the possibilities. It's just like, oh my God, this world. I'll stick to bringing all my groceries or all my treats in by Amazon. Don't have to leave. Hubby can grab the groceries. I'll stay in my bubble. Go for a hike in the middle of nowhere. The world's just a crazy place right now, as I guess what I'm getting at. It's an absolute crazy place. Mm-hmm. I hear you there, Shauna. Yeah. Yeah. I have no fear. No fear, Frankie is here. Okay, let me see here. Half hour, she said. I can't remember even what time. Does he? Yeah. Yeah. I'm exactly the same. I know of a couple others that are like us as well, Ruthie. If I start boozing again, I promise not to put ginger in my whiskey. What the hell is that? That guy's, oh, yuck. I couldn't even imagine. I love drinks. that you do. But you know, the thing is with you is is you don't change. You know, if you do, it's so very little. That was me. I can get that way too. Smirnoff screwdriver. Vodka. Yeah, that's it. But all those who stay the same still complain about bad hangovers. I don't think Mexi gets hangovers. It's unreal. Still working up to it, though. But you know what? I know people that are my age that I drank with as a teenager that still drink until all hours. And exactly. And yet they keep going. They go, well, the ones I'm talking about, they go out, they stay out till all hours, and then they're out up at like 6, 7 or some godly hour in the morning making pancakes for everybody. And they're just happy back with their, oh, I don't know. Mexi is our Dean Martin. Oh, yeah. No, I'm with you, Stop. I'll just keep it as a spectator sport. Did Wolfie come in? Let me look. No? Okay. Oh, yeah, everybody loved Dean Martin. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I remember watching him and Sammy Davis Jr. on Cannonball Run. Right? Oh, the movie. I've never seen the movie. I don't even know what it's about. Yeah. Yeah, you're very controlled. I haven't seen you all tanked up. Just a little giggly. Yeah. Laughing at them as they're stumbling along. Looks like we might get rain again. We need some big blue skies out here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, spectator sport. It has been for quite a few years now. Look out. Hell on wheels. I think I think Mexie's taken me to the bar with her a couple of times when we first started chit-chatting. It was pretty cool. I like it when she takes me places. Another round to wash down the cement. Yes, you did. You took me to pool with you. And I liked it. Oh my goodness. Oh, I haven't been to like a club. Oh my God, I can't even. It's been a long time, like over 20 years, anyways. Over 25 even. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. So what time did he say he was coming back? I know he said a half hour, but I didn't check the time. Oh,
Thank you. Please be seated.
here we go, guys. Here we go. Woo!
All right, we're back on the record on CR 22-21-1623, State of Idaho versus Chad Guy Daybell, concluding the special sentencing hearing that's being conducted where the court intends to sentence the defendant on the counts in the amended indictment, including the insurance fraud counts. Is the state ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is the defense ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Very well, Mr. Bailiff, if you'd please have the jurors brought in.
Yes, Your Honor.
Here we go. Colby and his wife are still sitting front and center. And they're saying that Chad's kids didn't show up. I wouldn't want people to know I was his kid. No way. All the music that they listen to now and all the noise in them. Yeah. I don't think they do, Mexi.
All right, please.
I agree. That could be it too.
Freeze off, President Counter, for your honor.
Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, we are back on the record on CR 2221-1623, continuing the special sentencing proceeding. The jury has returned its special verdict. The court would note that pursuant to Idaho Code 18-4004, which is the punishment for murder statute in Idaho, that crime in murder of the first degree can be punished by death. And under Idaho Code 192515 subsection 7A, that states that if the jury finds that a statutory aggravating circumstance exists and no mitigating circumstances exist, which would make the imposition of the death penalty unjust, the defendant will be sentenced to death by the court. The court's reviewed the findings of the jurors in the special verdict form. They've taken their time through these deliberations to return that verdict. And so the court will proceed with sentencing first on counts 1 through 6. And again, this is an unusual hearing because the sentencing hearing's already been taking place. We've heard from the victims through impact statements and arguments from counsel. That's already taken place. In addition, a pre-sentence investigation report is not to be ordered in these hearings, so the court does not reference that. The court then orders as follows, and this will be contained in the court's judgment at the conclusion of the case. As to count 1, the conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and grand theft by deception for the murder of Tylee Ryan, upon the jury's finding of guilty and return of the special verdict form, the jury finding beyond a reasonable doubt and having returned the special verdict that the aggravating circumstances when weighed against the mitigating circumstances do not make the imposition of the death penalty unjust. The court, therefore, on count 1, the defendant is sentenced to death.
Boom. Nice.
On count 2, the first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan, the jury finding beyond a reasonable doubt and having returned the special verdict that the aggravating circumstances when weighed against the mitigating circumstances do not make the imposition of the death penalty unjust. The court, therefore, on count 2, sentences the defendant to death.
Nice.
On count 3, the conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and grand theft by deception for the murder of JJ Vallow, the jury finding beyond a reasonable doubt and having returned the special verdict that the aggravating circumstances when weighed against the mitigating circumstances do not make the imposition of the death penalty unjust. The court, therefore, on count 3, sentences the defendant to death.
Boom. Boom.
On count 4, first-degree murder of JJ Vallow, the jury finding beyond a reasonable doubt and having returned the special verdict that the aggravating circumstances when weighed against the mitigating circumstances do not make the imposition of the death penalty unjust. The court, therefore, on count 4, sentences the defendant to death.
Bye-bye.
On count 5, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Tammy Daybell, the jury, having found beyond a reasonable doubt and having returned the special verdict that the aggravating circumstances when weighed against the mitigating circumstances do not make the imposition of the death penalty unjust, the court, therefore, on count 5, sentences the defendant to death.
There you go, guys. There you go. It's
On
done.
count 6, the first-degree murder charge, the murder of Tammy Daybell, the jury having found beyond a reasonable doubt and returned the special verdict that the aggravating circumstances, when weighed against the mitigating circumstances, do not make the imposition of the death penalty unjust. The court therefore, on count 6, sentences the defendant to death.
Yeah.
The court's next going to take up counts 7 and 9 on the insurance fraud counts. Before I do that, from the state, are there any questions regarding the court's judgment as it relates to counts 1 through 6?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Questions from the defense?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Yep.
All
Totally.
right, moving on to insurance fraud, then the court will note that I am required to go through a sentencing proceeding on this. These are separate counts that have not been determined in the special verdict form by the jurors. Some brief procedural history. Mr. Daybell was charged by amended indictment with counts 7 and 9 insurance fraud under Idaho Code 41293, which is a felony. Mr. Daybell pled not guilty to those counts on June 9th, 2021. Thereafter, this trial was held, and as part of the findings of the jury in their verdict, they did find the defendant guilty of both of those counts. The court has considered, in lieu of a pre-sentence investigation report, the information that I've heard throughout this trial. I also heard information regarding these charges in the previous trial held last year against co-defendant Lori Vallow. I've also heard information received during the special sentencing proceeding relating to those counts as well, and have considered that information in lieu of a pre-sentence investigation report. And I'll also note the defendant waived the pre-sentence investigation report and is permitted to do that, and the court can allow that under Criminal Rule 32A.
Mhm.
At this time then, before I move forward with the sentencing on counts 7 and 9, I will inquire of the state, is the state wishing to make any sentencing recommendation as it relates to count 7 or 9?
And Your Honor, just for clarification, were the insurance frauds count 8 and 9?
As listed in the amended indictment, they are listed as count 7 and count 9.
Thank you. Co-counsel just clarified for me on that. Your Honor, the state is prepared to make a statement. First, I would indicate for the record that in relation to the sentencing hearing, the sentencing portion handled yesterday, the state did make our best attempts to reach out to all statutory victims to allow them the opportunity to be heard by the court. And those that the court heard from yesterday were the ones that had wished to make impact statements. While not directly related to the insurance fraud, I did just want to make a clear record of that. In relation to the insurance fraud charges, in light of the sentence that has been imposed by this court and by the recommendation of the jury in relation to the other charges, the state would indicate we think that the victim statements covered everything the state could say. While the insurance charges again are attenuated to it, we've lost 3 individuals that the state can do nothing to bring them back. And so the best we can do is move forward in seeking justice on their behalves. In relation to the insurance counts themselves, given the sentences, we would recommend this court impose jail time and have that, or prison time, impose a sentence and run it concurrent with the imposition of the other sentence by this court. I believe they carry up to 15 years in prison. We'd recommend they run concurrent with each other and with the imposition of death in this case. We would also recommend restitution in the amount of $130,000 to LifeMap and $300,000 to Primerica. As part of that, we would also recommend a waiver of any fines or court costs in this matter in order to allow restitution to be paid if any money is available to go towards that.
All right, thank you for the state's sentencing recommendations. Mr. Pryor, does the defense wish to make sentencing recommendations as to, I'll do them collectively, counts 7 and 9, the insurance fraud counts?
No, Judge, there's nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, is there any objection to the requested restitution amounts of $130,000 and $300,000?
Judge, we may need to set that out at this point, but I'll let the court know if that changes.
All right, I'll permit 30 days for the scheduling of a contested hearing on restitution. If that becomes an issue, we could conduct that hearing most likely remotely on a Zoom hearing if it becomes an issue. At this time, I will ask because I need to on these counts. Before I impose any sentence, Mr. Daybell, you do have the right of allocution, which permits you to make a statement on your own behalf in any mitigation of these offenses. Is there any statement you would like to make before I proceed with sentencing on those counts?
No.
Very well. The
Well,
court then, having
yeah.
considered the information previously referenced, finds that pursuant to Idaho Code 41293, which under subsection 4 indicates a penalty of up to 15 years of prison. On each of those two counts, the court is going to impose a prison sentence of 15 years. So a
On top of
15-year
the
sentence will
DP.
be imposed on count 7. The court will take under advisement the issue of restitution requested by the state. The court will not impose any fines. The court also will impose a 15-year prison sentence on count 9. Also pursuant to the same statute, take under advisement the issue of restitution. The court will note in imposing these prison sentences that I have reviewed Idaho Code 192521, which requires me to go through certain criteria about the imposition of a prison sentence versus a possibility of parole or a lesser sentence. And I would note that the rationale for the prison sentences is that these are intertwined with the murder charges for which the death penalty has been imposed on those counts. And when the court looks at the sentencing factors under 1925-21, I would note in mitigation that Mr. Daybell has been incarcerated an extensively long time in local jail and has a previous law-abiding history, and I have considered that. I've also considered that he's always conducted himself respectfully, from what I've heard from all of the jailers that have ever interacted with him over the years that he's been incarcerated for these charges. However, the court finds under Idaho Code 2521 also that any lesser sentence would depreciate the seriousness of these offenses because this life insurance was obtained based on the murders of individuals and procuring life insurance payouts unlawfully. And because of that, it's the most serious of offense, that circumstance that could lead to that. In addition, imprisonment will provide an appropriate punishment and deterrent for the defendant and others, and will also be a deterrent for the community as well. So the court having then concluded with the sentencing on that, I will not order any fines because the defendant's previously been deemed indigent and has received the death penalty on these murder counts, and find it would be futile to have an order of fines in the case. So with those remarks, then the court typically would address the defendant further, but in this special sentencing proceeding, the victim impact statements and the evidence has already demonstrated on the record, I think, the seriousness of what's occurred, and I don't find any reason to further delve into the court's rationale other than what was listed in the statute. So unless there's anything further, that will conclude the sentencing, but I will address the post-conviction issues that need to be addressed at this time. Does the state have anything further then on the sentence and count 7 and count 9?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything further from the defense?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Daybell, in this case, given the sentence that was imposed in counts 1 through 6, there's a special appellate and post-conviction procedure for capital cases, and an automatic stay may be in effect. There's a statute that's Idaho Code 192719 that sets out certain deadlines. I am providing you and counsel with a courtesy copy of that statute, but I will note a few of the deadlines that are listed in there. Under subsection 1, when the punishment of death is imposed, the time for filing an appeal shall begin to run when the death warrant is filed. Number 2, the death warrant shall not be filed until 42 days after the judgment imposing the death sentence has been filed. Number 3, within 42 days of the filing of the judgment imposing the punishment of death, the defendant must file any legal or factual challenges to the sentence of conviction. There's other important and critical deadlines that are contained within that statute, and I am going to provide a copy of that to Mr. Pryor to ensure that the defense is well advised of those post-conviction rights that would apply in this special proceeding. I'll also note that there's an additional rule, Idaho criminal rule. If you'll give me a moment, I think it's 44.2. Criminal Rule 44.2, and that's the mandatory appointment of counsel for post-conviction review after imposition of the death penalty. That rule is also applicable in your case, and a copy of the rule itself is going to be provided to you in counsel to ensure that you're well aware of any post-conviction rights you may have. With that, then, the court is going to conclude the special sentencing proceeding. Is there anything further I need to take up from the state?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything further from the defense?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone for your abiding by the court's courtroom conduct order. We'll be in recess.
All right, please.
So that's that. Off he goes. I'm sure we will see some kind, yep, of them. I would think that there will be some kind of press conference. I would think. Guffum. Get him out of there. He looks very defeated. Yep, that's up. We're done with him. Done. Yep, exactly. Exactly. You know, most of me was thinking that this was going to be the ultimate, the DT was going to be what he was going to end up DP. But I always had just a little bit of concern in there that there would be one person that might not go with it. But you know what? They handled it. It's done. And yeah, into the depths he goes. So thank you ever so much, guys, for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled. We're still waiting for, what did we do the other day? We're back to Karen Reed tomorrow, or sorry, on Monday. And I think that was the only one we were waiting for. This was the only one we were waiting for. We'd already done Michelle Turconis. So yeah, we are caught up, guys. So again, thanks for being here with me. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Hit that bell for notifications, and I will see you soon in the next one. Bye.